Hello boys and girls, Mrs. McPherson here. Today we're going to look at combining geometry with what we've been talking about in math with multiplying fractions, and we're going to find the area of rectangles with fractional lengths. So what this means, and let's review back to just what area is. If I have a rectangle such as this, and I'm given side measurements. Let's say the length is 6 inches and the width is 3 inches. If you were to find the area of this shape, you're finding the amount of space it covers inside the shape. And to do that, you follow a simple formula of area equals length times width. So you multiply your two side lengths. So to find the area of this shape, I would do 6 times 3. And my answer would then be 18, and you have to write a label. Okay, it's not just inches. When we write our label for area, we write it in squared inches. So there's two ways to do that. You can use our little exponent of 2, or you could write SQ, meaning squared inches. So you could write that label either way. Okay, and that's to show that you found the area of the shape. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, let's use the same rectangle, but let's change the size of the dimensions. So let's say this length is 10 feet, and this is 4 feet. Okay, so you follow the same process. You always look back to that area, which is length times width. So you're going to do 10 times 4, your length times your width, and you get 40. So to write the unit or the label the correct way, you would write squared feet. So you don't just write feet, you have to write squared feet, because squared feet shows that you found the area of the shape. You found all this space on the inside. Okay, so that's just a review of area. What we're going to do today is we're going to find area, but if our lengths, like our length and our width, had fractions in them. So for example, let's say that now I have a fraction. Let me write it this way. I have 1/2 of an inch times, let's do 2/6 of an inch. So my dimensions of my shape are 1/2, 1/2 an inch, and 2/6 inch. Okay, so you still follow this same process of length times width, and we've been working on how to multiply fractions in order to be able to solve problems like these. So you would just solve the simple fraction multiplication problem. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So you get 2/12 as your answer. Now 2/12 can be simplified, as we know. For example, we know that they're both even numbers, so you could divide 2 out of both the top and the bottom, and you would get, as a simplified fraction, 1/6. Okay, so let's look back at our rectangle. So now that means the area of this rectangle is 1/6, and to write our label, we would write squared inches, because we're measuring it in inches. Okay, let's look at another example. I'm going to change our rectangle. Okay, so now I have this shaped rectangle. So here we'll do 4/5 of a foot, and here we'll have 1/8 of a foot. Okay, so we're going to follow the same process. We're going to multiply our length times our width. So we have 4/5 times 1/8. When we do that, we get 4/40. 4 times 1 is 4, 5 times 8 is 40. Now 4/40 can be simplified. I can first say, well, they're both even, so I could start by dividing 2 out of both of them to get me started. And when I do that, I'm going to get 2/20. But look, you can still keep going because 2/20 is also even. Okay, so you may have noticed right off the bat, 4/40, you could have just divided 4 out of the top and the bottom, and you would have gotten right to your simplified answer of 1/10. Or you could have done the step-by-step process that I did, and you would still get the same answer. So that means the area of this shape is 1/10 squared feet. Okay? Now let's think about a word problem. Okay, I'm going to write a word problem on the board, and we're going to solve it together because I want to go through what the terminology in the word problem is going to mean. Let's see, we have Eric is building a small planter to put plants in. Okay. The length of the planter is 1/2 of a foot, and the width is 2/3 of a foot. Okay, so what he's building here is like a pot, a planter pot to put plants in. Now we're going to assume its shape is a rectangle because, like I said, all of the things we're going to be doing today have to do with areas of rectangles. So let's draw a picture to help us solve this. So he's building a planter, and he's going to put lots of plants in it, and they'll grow very pretty. Now this may not be exactly to scale or exactly to size, and that's okay. Sometimes just drawing a picture helps us visualize it. All right, so let's write our measurements down, and now we need to find the area. Okay, so drawing the picture allowed you to write your dimensions in. Okay, so you could write it either way depending how you're looking at it, right? But as long as you have the 2/3 and the 1/2 foot, you're good. Okay, so to find the area, we need to multiply length times width. Now this is a shorter way to write that instead of writing out the words. So that means we're going to do 1/2 times 2/3 is going to give me the area, right? Because those are my measurements. So 1 times 2 gives me 2. 2 times 3 gives me 6. Now 2/6 can be simplified. Let me rewrite this. They're both even, so I can divide 2 out of the top and the bottom, and I get 1/3. So the area of my planter is going to be 1/3 square feet. Okay, so all this did here was it still gave you those measurements, but it wants you to be able to visualize what he's building, what you're looking for. Okay, so drawing a quick picture can help you to solve a problem such as a word problem where it doesn't give you the picture, you have to visualize it yourself. Okay, so this was finding the area of rectangles using fractional side lengths. So you do the practice problems on the next few slides, and practice this skill. Just remember that you're doing the same process that we did before when we multiplied fractions, but now we're applying it to a geometry skill of finding area. So we're taking two skills and putting them together in order to practice this, okay? So good luck, and if you have any questions, please reach out.